Good evening, good evening. This is your senator and servant, Carla Joseph, welcoming you to another segment of On Point, my radio program that is heard every other Tuesday here on WSTA Radio from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. This evening, I have a very special guest with me who has taken some time out of her busy schedule to talk to us about some of the things that she has been doing and has led the charge in. And listening audience, you're in for a great treat because over the past several weeks, we have been talking about various items. We had a really robust conversation regarding assistive living facilities and my legislation that I'm pushing forward regarding putting in some teeth in that. We also spoke about training opportunities for our people, the CTE program, which is the very critical program that we have, the Career and Technical Education Program. And so this evening, joining me, and why I'm saying she's so special is because we grew up in the same public housing community too, Bavone. You know, I always say where I grew up, and I give homage and thanks for that wonderful place where we both lived. So please join me in welcoming to my very first guest on Point, Mrs. Velma Freeman Walters.
Hi, good evening, Senator, and good evening, listening audience. Thank you very much for having me as a guest.
Great. Now, before we go into the meat of our discussion this evening, I need to definitely report to our listening audience on what transpired today in the Committee on Government Operations and Consumer Protection, which I chair. We had two bills on the agenda. The first bill is sponsored by Senators Giovanni James Sr., Marvin A. Blyden, and Genevieve Whitaker. And this bill, in short, is to commemorate and acknowledge the memory of Mary Thomas, Axeline Solomon, Mathilda McBean, Susanna Abramson, and other estate laborers during and after the labor uprising in 1878 or the fire bond. We didn't act on this piece of legislation because we didn't have a quorum today to really vote. We lost our quorum late in the meeting. And the other bill we had also on the agenda was Bill number 34-0150, an act honoring and commending former Governor John Percy DeYoung Jr. for his significant service and contributions to the people of the Virgin Islands and for his tireless efforts to help expand and grow the economy of the Virgin Islands, and naming the walkway and improvement adjacent to the Veterans Drive Highway on the island of St. Thomas, the John DeYoung Jr. Promenade. This bill is sponsored by Senators Novell E. Francis Jr. and Donna A. Fred Gregory. Again, this bill wasn't acted upon. We did not have a full quorum. We had 3 members of the committee who were absent and excused absent if they are out of the territory, and we only had 3 members who was there physically, and we were unable to act on these bills. This was the first time in my experience as being a committee chairperson that I wasn't able to act and move legislation. Our next committee meeting is going to be coming up on December 17th, so hopefully we have legislations on that agenda too, and just stay tuned. We'll be keeping you informed about those things. So now, oh, and also let me just finalize. We also had testimony from Dr. Allison Digazon, PhD. She's the director of the VI Bureau of Economic Research, and she was there with us, also giving us an update on all of the data they've been able to collect, what they're working on, and really she understands how important data is. And the other thing I wanted to note is that she had Miss Loretza Mills, who's been at the helm of that Bureau for a number of years, and she is using her intelligence and her skills and her experience to really shape and continue to shape the Bureau of Economic Research. And that's so much important. This Bureau in itself is very important because most of the money that we receive federally, especially for us in a territory where we have great needs, we have to be able to show that we have the data, because everything is data driven. If you're going to have a program, you're going to have to show that you have sufficient numbers for you to continue to receive the support and to provide those really critical support to help move our territory forward. So let's just get back to our wonderful guest that we have tonight. And that's enough about the legislative activities for the committee meeting that was held today. So Miss Velma Freeman Walters, tell us a little bit about your career. I know I already put it out there that we grew up in Bovoni housing community together. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you really want to talk to a listening audience about this evening.
Okay, I am a registered nurse. I am a proud product of the Bovoni Projects. I'm a registered nurse and I'm a proud Devil Ray as well.
Hey!
Yeah. Yes, so I'm here to talk to you guys about the new venture that I started, a business, Life Skills Training Center.
So you're a businesswoman. So not only are you a registered nurse as a profession, you are now a business owner providing what type of services?
We teach home health aid courses, nursing assistant courses, and CPR.
Oh, very good. So when the persons who go through your program, how long, tell us a little bit about your program, tell us where it's located, even if you have a website page, share with our listening audience, because I've talked about this home health care, assisted living, as well as CTE programs for a while, talking about, and people have been touting of we need a trade school, etc., because we really need to prepare the population. I'm going to be quiet a bit and let you talk about it because I'm very excited to have you here with us to talk about this.
Okay, so Life Skills Training Center has been started about a year now. We're located across the street from Charlotte O'Malley High School track. We teach home health aid classes for 5 weeks, and the cost of that program is $800. We also teach nursing assistant, and the cost of that class is $1,650. All the students receive CPR training as well. It's free. It's included. Included in our prices, we offer you a pair. We give you a pair of scrubs. We give you a stethoscope. We give you your books. We also pay for the testing for the nursing assistants. We try to take failure out of it. We don't want you to just take our classes, but we want you to go on and complete, take the exam, and as well as work in our community to provide better health care.
So what was a catalyst? What made you want to go into this business and providing this type of service, and when you're training other young people and older adults, adult learners in providing this service, this critical service?
Okay, I worked with a former professor from UVI, Miss Ophelia Powell Torres, while she helped me with providing care for my dad while he was ill. And she offered the classes as well as she offered home care. I'm presently still employed, so I've only taken on the educational piece.
Okay, so you providing the educational piece. Now, is there a website that our listening audience can go to and to take a look at what you're offering in the program?
Yes, the website is lifeskillstrainingcenter.com.
Okay, and that's Life Skills Training Center?
Yes, lifeskillstrainingcenter.com.
Okay, now how many students have you trained so far?
So far, we have had about, we've had 3 home health aid classes. They weren't big classes. On average, about 4 students. We've had one nursing assistant class, and that class completed 4 students as well.
Okay.
This is nowhere near the number of people that we'd like to impact for these growing careers that are so much needed in our community.
And you say growing careers and much needed because you mentioned just recently in our discussion here, in our dialogue, that you've had to take care of your own parent. And so you have a great understanding of what it entails being a working mother, a wife, and just a female out here and taking care of parent, and you have that background skill. What are some of the things you have seen happen in our community? Because I know it's a shortage of home health care providers. I know that we have a shortage of how many home health care providers that we have in our community, and we have a very large aging population. What do you see, and what have you seen a need for home health care providers?
People are not ready for retirement, and when they age, I've seen the challenges of not having the funds available to provide the care that is needed.
And what about the family supports?
I've seen great family support. I've seen families who take exceptionally well care of their parents without any training or any medical background.
And have you seen the other flip side of that?
I've also seen the abuse. I've seen the financial abuse. I've seen the actual physical abuse that also goes along with this.
And so the question always arises for me, and I'm not sure if you could talk or expand on that. Do we have, in your estimation, and you're just going based on what you're seeing, do we have the capacity here that is needed currently to fill the need for this type of service that you are providing? Do we have enough people who are trained and educated to do the work that is needed right now in the Virgin Islands in this field that you're offering the training?
Right now, no, we do not. The need, there's a great need as we live in an aging community. Every day, someone is turning 65. We are a senior community, and the help is needed. As people age, there's a need for medical assistance and assistance with activities of daily living, which includes preparing your food, your bathing, socializing, medical appointments, laundering, stuff like that.
Right. And I also know that it's not just for our aging population, but we also have people who are disabled.
Correct. The disabled persons need this assistance as well.
Right. And so we're urging persons, if you don't have a career pathway, right, chosen for you, this is a very lucrative career pathway. On the previous show, my last show that we aired, we talked about a lot of the CTE programs. Years ago, I had done some research, and we had identified areas that are demand-driven career pathway, and healthcare is one of those. Healthcare, construction, also IT, and hospitality. Those were some of the demand-driven industries that we are seeing that we're going to really need a lot of people to be trained in to fill the jobs that are there and available. Do you have any information, or can you share with our listening audience any information that you have relative to how much a person who completes your program, how much they're going to be able to earn once they enter the workforce?
Okay. For the home health aid, the starting hourly wage is around $10 an hour. For the CNAs, it's around 15 and up. The more skills you have, the higher you can be paid. Once you also get experience, you can earn more money.
Okay, so $10 an hour. I'm thinking maybe $10.50, because I think the minimum wage.
Well, it may be $10.50.
Yeah, the minimum wage is a little higher. So $15 an hour for a CNA, and how long do they have to go through the program?
6 weeks. The program is 6 weeks long, and then they take the state exam, which is partly theory and plus a practical exam.
Okay,
I have a question.
okay, that's great. We have a question from one of our persons here. You can go ahead and ask a question.
For the clinicals for the program, how do you do the clinical? Do you have a partnership with a nursing facility or the hospital?
Right now, we're partnering with Jerry's residential care to provide our clinicals. Due to COVID, we're still waiting for responses from the Department of Health as well as the hospital.
Okay, so you're still able to have
The clinical experience.
clinical experience. So you've been able, this is so critical. Sometimes I know as an entrepreneur, you may have a door blocked with the traditional area that you want to have form those partnership. But what you've done is that you've overcome that barrier to be able to provide the clinical, which really is the hands-on component of the training, rather than just the theoretical where you learn in a book. You're actually there doing it hands-on, and so now you are able to actually do the hands-on and have your participants, your students, complete their training in that 6 weeks.
Correct.
6 weeks period of time. Do you get any support from any government agency? I know Department of Labor over the years, and they have that requirement too, through the Workforce Investment Board and the like, to provide training opportunities for our people who are the underserved, disadvantaged, may have dropped out. Have you formed any partnerships with the Department of Labor?
Yes, we are a provider with the Department of Labor as well.
Oh, so you're a recognized provider.
Yes.
Okay, and that's a great thing, because once the Department of Labor recognizes you as a provider, that is saying that you are now legitimized, because now you're offering industry recognized certification. Can your participants be able to take their certification and travel on to a different state and work based on this CNA certification?
Yes, they can. There is reciprocity according to the state guidelines.
Oh, reciprocity. And tell us a little bit what reciprocity means.
It means you're recognized in the territory as well as you're recognized in that state, so you do not have to retake the examination. They will honor your certification from here.
Great. Do you get a lot of referrals to your program from the Department of Labor?
We haven't received any as yet, but we've been in communication, so it's coming. It's coming.
So we need to do further recruitment for this program, because this is really a great opportunity for people to earn a legitimate certification in a demand-driven industry. And when I say a demand-driven industry, I'm specifically meaning an industry where we know that you're going to get a job.
Correct.
Okay, and there is a need. Remember, I talked about the Bureau of Economic Research and all of the information and the data. When we did the study, we saw that there was such a grave need for this. And that's one of the reasons why I talked about and we're pushing this assisted living facilities, because you are a nurse, you know about the whole continuum of care for human beings.
Yes.
And I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I talked about it before in our shows. And told them about this continuum of care that is so critical for us as human beings. But I don't know if, because I'm not a health professional, I've been labeled something else because of my, which I'm very thankful for, because I'm a politician. I don't like to use that word, but that's what they say, because you're elected official. But I'm really more so a grassroots activist. I really enjoy seeing our people being uplifted and trying my very best to work with others to bring those critical services to our people, because I know and I see them, and I don't think they need to be suffering, especially if we have the ability and the mindset and the knowledge, and we have capable and intelligent people like yourself here willing to train others in this work. So tell us about this continuum of care.
You're talking about assisted living, correct?
I talked about assisted living, but tell us a full continuum of care. Once a person has been either become disabled, they can't live, they can't do much for themselves. They first go through an independent living and then from there.
Okay. So if someone gets ill, perhaps they may go to the hospital, and if once discharged, they may need additional services with their medical needs as well as their activities of daily living, taking care of themselves. The assisted living comes in where we don't have much of them in a territory. We could benefit from more of them. On the mainland, they are privately owned. It provides independence for the person who's ill. It's a step down from a nursing home where skilled services are not provided, such as nursing care, maybe minimum. There's no physical therapy, occupational therapy, but it can be an independent, a house, a single room, shared room, groups rooms, and this home is where the person would live, and all of their needs would be taken care of. Someone would assist with bathing, all their meals, socializing, taking them to appointments, their laundering, medication reminders, everything that they need in a home setting.
And it doesn't have to be a big, huge structure. It could be a couple apartments in a building, correct?
Or it can be a single home. On the mainland, these are businesses that members of the community, you may live in a home and not realize the seniors that you see next door, they're living in an assisted living home. Okay? They can be designed for veterans as well. There are those that are catered to people who are veterans also. They also have those who are cater to persons with mental illnesses, any kind of disability.
Okay. All right. And that's really great. We are really coming down on a lot of our time. And we had talked about, I know you just mentioned about the assisted living facilities and the like. I only know about, and I mentioned this, we don't have sufficient. I know about the one turning point in St. Croix. I think there's one in St. Thomas, maybe one or two.
Yeah, three.
Three in St. Thomas.
Not both.
Yeah. And I got some documentation on that. So there is a grave need for us to look at getting those type of facility. Our phone lines are open. If you have a question, please feel free to give us a call here. We're having a very robust and interesting conversation, which I think it hits really on target with a lot of our bread and butter issues here in the Virgin Islands, specifically where it is regarding our taking care of our elders. Our number is 774-1340 here in the studio in WSTA. You can call 774-1340 to be on point.
So there's a question this is more catered towards the skilled program you have for the CNAs and home caregivers.
Yes.
This is, some people have started the process of becoming a CNA. They went to the school, they just weren't able to do, so they finished their book work, but haven't finished the clinical parts of the program. Is your program accepting transfer students?
Presently, we're not accepting transfer students. When you take our program, we do the theory and we do the clinical as well. We do have a lab on site where you can utilize we teach you the 22 skills that are needed for testing, and then you also go out to a clinical site. So presently, I'm sorry, we're not able to offer that.
And that's a very good question. We are on Facebook Live, so we're feeding into some of the questions too that may be coming through Facebook Live regarding this critical question, on this critical topic rather, regarding the training that you're providing. Do you also, I know the name of your company is Life Skills Training Center. When I used to wear another hat, we used to provide life skills, actual life skills to prepare our students to tackle not all, but most of the most fundamental things that they may encounter in their journey in life. Tell me some of the life skills courses that you offer at your facility.
We offer the home health aid course, as well as we offer the nursing assistance class, and we offer CNA training. Within our training, we try to incorporate, we do incorporate customer service. We try to provide soft skills. We're trying to create employees who have more awareness and provide courteous care for our community.
So teaching them good bedside manners,
yes,
right, is very critical. What about working on punctuality, making sure that they're on time when they are supposed to provide the services for the clients?
Oh yes, we cover that as well, because these patients, they depend on you. If you don't show up, they don't eat. Some may be soiled for long periods of time, so they're dependent on you to show up so that they can receive their care.
Okay, let's talk. Our time is running really fast, and I know you mentioned initially that some people can't afford to pay for this care, but you have some really great news to share as far as payment for the care.
Not well. I personally don't have any. It's not pertaining to the Virgin Islands, but however, on the mainland, Medicaid pays some of the costs for assisted living in about 30 states, as well as the District of Columbia, through Medicaid waivers, also called Home and Community-Based Services waivers, and 1915 waivers.
Well, look how time really flies. I think they are working on getting us under the same umbrella. I do know for government employees, some of those home health care are covered in our insurance.
Okay.
Yes, so, but we are practically out of time. If you want to get in contact with me, Carla Joseph, Senator Carla Joseph, please give me a call at 340-693-3515. That's our office number. I want to thank you so much, Ms. Velma Freeman Walters, for joining. That's Walters is really a different added name, but it's a good name, for joining us this evening on Point. Thanks to my staff and my committee members, and a big thank you to the listening audience for your participation. Whether you were just listening and following the conversation on Facebook, you took some time to jot down a lot of the information, I want to really thank you for having us here. And a massive thank you to my very first and very special guest, Mrs. Velma Freeman Walter. Thank you for joining me and sharing with us this very important need that we have in our community. And thank you for imparting all that you know and providing this very critical service and training to our persons in our public. Tell us once again where they can contact you.
Okay, you can contact me at 340-514-3321, or check out our website, lifeskillstrainingcenter.com.
On Point can be heard every other Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. here on WSTA Radio. Let's stay on point, Virgin Islands. God bless and good